how we exit one situation is how we're going to be entering the next. You need to be the best employee at your current company. Hi, my name's Devin. Today I own several multi-million-dollar companies. We started with $5,000 in a credit card. I don't know the easy way. I only know the hard way. Hey everyone, welcome to the Whiteboard Entrepreneur podcast, where I give straightforward advice to fuel the entrepreneur in all of us. Today I want to talk to you about how you professionally exit one situation is how you're going to professionally enter the next situation of your life. And the analogy here is a doorway, right? You exit one room into another room. If you are leaving this room covered in mud, smelly, your hair's a mess, when you go through that doorway, you're the same person on the other side of that door. You've left a mess in this room, you're leaving a mess, and you're going to show up in this other room, and you think this other room is magically going to change you. And this is so true in our lives, right? There are so many people, and entrepreneurs, I think we suffer from this, right? Because entrepreneurs are very dreamy, right? We always have this new idea, this new business, this new endeavor that we're going after. And maybe you work for someone right now and you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking about the next gig, and maybe you're thinking about changing jobs. I'm not telling you any of that is a bad idea. All of that is very good, but let me tell you, you have a responsibility today to the obligation that you're at today, right? So many of us get this kind of senioritis mentality of like, oh, well, you know what? I'm leaving this job in 3 months anyways, and so, what do I care? Well, let's think back to that, like your senior year, right? And many people get senioritis. I'm a coach. I see them from freshmen to seniors, and now I'm, seeing them go off to college. I'm even seeing some of them get married. And I'm watching these kids as they grow. And what happens is when I think about the players that I've had over the years, I always thinking about them as a senior, right? You always think about them at the end. You don't think about them when they were a freshman. You think about them towards the end. And I remember them how they left, right? And so let's say you came and you worked at this company, or you had this job or whatever, and you worked there for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, however long. And those first, 9 years, you busted your hump. And it was that year before you were retiring. And all of a sudden, like, you just kind of slowly stopped caring. You didn't get things done on time. How are you really going to be remembered? You're thinking, well, you know what? None of this matters because I'm entering this new era of my life. Well, you're going to leave this current era basically failing at your job. You're going to leave this current era being known as someone who didn't care for the responsibilities. And so I always tell my seniors, I'm like, hey, listen, go out strong. I know it's your spring semester. You're going to have fun. Go do your senior skip day, do all of that, but like go out the right way, because that's how you're going to be remembered. People aren't going to remember, how you got straight A's as a freshman. People aren't going to remember, that you were there every day and you got perfect attendance as a junior, right? They're not going to remember that. They're going to remember the kid that blew off the final last 6 weeks of school and ended up, vandalizing the principal's car, right? Like, how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as the screw off at work? Do you want to be remembered as a person who left, your church and really crappy, and you went to this other church, and all of a sudden you think, I made all these enemies over here, and now I go over here and I'm this new person, this new clean person? You're the same person. And it's also how you're going to be remembered. And so how we exit one situation is how we're going to be entering the next. You think, oh, you know what? Well, when I get this new job, I'm going to start taking my job seriously right now. One of the biggest pieces of advice I give to anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur is I tell them, you need to be the best employee at your current company. And I almost always get this almost like they're mad at me look, like, what? My current company doesn't even deserve me. And I tell them, I'm like, listen, your current company pays for food to be on your table. You have security. You have job security. You can go to, you might not enjoy your job, but you have a job. If you can't be someone who shows up on time or early, and you show up a half an hour late while you have a boss and you have people telling you what to do, what makes you think that you're going to be great working for yourself? right? Like you have to take care of your current responsibilities before you exit this phase of your life and go into the next phase of your life. I realized this when I was in college. When I was in college, I was kind of a wreck. I didn't have discipline, and I knew that I couldn't go from being undisciplined college kid to running my own business. And thank God I realized that and said, you know what? I need to go somewhere so that I can get myself in order, so I can be the best employee, so that when I'm ready to be my own boss, that I know what a good employee looks like. I know I get myself in order. And when I left my company, I didn't left my company in shambles. I made sure every single one of my responsibilities were taken care of. I made sure my customers were happy. I made sure my boss was sad to see me go. I made sure that the people that I worked with were sad that I was going, but I made sure that when I left, that they all had everything that they need so that there would be no balls dropped. And I was remembered well. And that's important to me, because those are still relationships that I have to this day, because you exit something, or as you enter something, you're exiting something else. And you can't walk out smelling like pigs and immediately walk into the next room and smell like roses. Take care of your responsibilities. Be conscious of the legacy that you're leaving, and make sure that if you are called to exit and to enter something new, that you exit the right way. I'm Devin, and this is the Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast. I know this will help.